Hello everyone, today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a different video. Today I'm going to be talking about books with characters or families that have curses set upon them. Ooh, intriguing and mysterious. This video is inspired by the recent release of The Last Life of Prince Alastair by Alexander Bracken. And this video is a paid promotion with Disney Book Group. Like I said, this video is inspired by The Last Life of Prince Alastair, which just released on February 5th and is the second book in the duology of the Prosper Redding series. If you haven't checked out this duology and series before, you definitely need to. It's such a fun and haunting and just amazing middle grade series. The first book is called The Dreadful Tales of Prosper Redding, and it follows our main character Prosper, who is pretty unextraordinary. Then Prosper finds out something about him and his family that makes him really quite extraordinary and kind of scary. Turns out Prosper's great something grandfather or another made and then broke a contract with a demon. And the demon is known for exchanging fortune for eternal servitude. And weirdly enough, the 800 something other demon named Alastair isn't quite the forgiving type. Basically, Prosper is having to deal with a demon living inside of him because his great grandfather or something another broke a contract with the demon named Alastair, and yeah, Prosper's having to deal with that. So that should be lots of fun for him. It's a fun and haunting middle grade series, which I would highly recommend you check out, and it's a duology, so you can read the first book and then read the second one that just released on February 5th and have a great old time reading it. So obviously I can't tell you more about this book, The Last Life of Prince Alastair, without spoiling it, so hopefully it's okay I told you a little bit about the whole backstory of Prosper Redding with the demon and the contract. And either way, this book definitely delves more upon that storyline. A lot of more demons, a lot of more mischief, a lot of more fun. So I would highly, like I said, recommend checking out the series. Like I said, this book just got released February 5th, so it is in stores today. I will leave a link for it down below as well. So since this whole series is about curses, I thought I would share some books that I know that deal with particularly just that. Either characters or families that have curses in them and they don't ask for it. It just is there, and that's what they have to deal with, much like Prosper Redding. Hopefully you enjoy this list of all of these books with characters that have to deal with all this curse brought upon them. It should be very interesting. The first couple books I'm going to talk about are actually middle grade as well, so I thought I would keep it some middle grade and some YA. I hope that is okay. First book I want to talk about is called Nevermore, The Trials of Morgan Crow. So in this book we have Morgan Crow, who is cursed. She, like, everything that happens bad in her town, people blame her for. Like, if the weather's bad, it's Morgan's fault. She is cursed. That's why. If the crops don't grow, it is Morgan's fault. She is cursed. Everything that is going wrong, Morgan is blamed for. She was quintessentially the cursed child. And it's always been known that, I think on the eve of like her 13th birthday, that like she will die or something like that. It's been a little bit since I read it, so please forgive me. And on the eve of her birthday, she actually gets whisked away to this place and is much more magical, and she learns more about her curse if she really wasn't cursed at all. I would highly recommend this series. A ton of you will talk about it on BookTube. It's a fun middle grade series. The sequel just came out as well. So in case you're just loving Prosper Redding and want to read more books that follow like the whole curse storyline, I would highly recommend checking out the Nevermore series because middle grade books are just fun, and these two books in particular are just so fun. Other middle grade book I want to talk about is one of my old favorites, probably my first ever middle grade favorite, and that is Ella Enchanted by Gail Carson Levine. I read this book many moons ago when I was actually in middle grade, and this is all about our main character named Ella, who, it's kind of like a darker tale on Cinderella, and Ella is doing what she can. She's living with, you know, her stepmom and her stepsisters, and then she gets a curse brought upon her that she has to obey any direct order that somebody gives her. She has to do it. So that is what this book is all about. This whole book is Ella dealing with this curse or this gift that's been bestowed upon her to obey any order that's directly given to her. And it's just a really great book. I'd say if that intrigues you and you've heard of the movie, you're like, oh, that's interesting. The movie is very different from the book. I haven't seen the movie, honestly. I don't plan to because I just love the book so much. I would highly recommend it. It's such a gem of the middle grade world, and I would recommend it to any middle grade lover. Like, so good. Going into some YA titles now that have to deal with characters that have curses on them. First, I want to talk about The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. This is actually a series called The Raven Cycle, and this book has a lot more going on to it than like the curse, but I would say what draws people into this book mostly is the whole fact of Blue, one of our main characters, characters has always known this about her, that she will be the reason that her true love dies. Like, that's the kind of curse that's been brought upon her, so she's never one to fall in love before, because she will cause her true love to die. Like I said, this deals a lot more than with that, but that's a heart of the story, and I love this series so much. It's paranormal, it's great. It's about these boys named the Raven Boys and how they're on a hunt for this dead king, and Blue gets mixed up in it, and the more she gets mixed up in it, she starts to think, oh no, I might cause my true love to die. And it's just so amazing. Would highly recommend this series a ton. Next book I want to recommend is The Wicked Deep by Shea Earnshaw. So this book does not really have a character or family that is cursed, or rather a town that is cursed. That's right, a whole town that is cursed. It would be fun to be that town. And this town is called Sparrow. And what happened in Sparrow in like the 1800s, there was these three sisters that the townspeople suspected were witches, and so they tied stones to their feet and threw them in the ocean, and they drowned and died. And ever since then, every summer for like 3 weeks, these sisters, these Swan sisters, come back and they inhabit the bodies of 3 local teenage girls and lure any boy they can into the waters to death, pretty much. And that's kind of their vengeance upon the town. So everybody comes to this town of Sparrow because it is cursed, because of this thing called the Swan season. And this whole town, it's, you know, some people believe it, some people don't. Our main character grapples with believing if this is really a curse or not. And I love this one. Would highly recommend reading it during the Halloween season, because it's very witchy and mysterious, and you just want to go to Sparrow, even though it's like not the place to go at all. But the whole town is cursed, so that's fun. In case you love curses, read about a whole town of them. That's nice. And the last 2 books I want to recommend, full disclosure, I haven't read them, but I'm planning to, but I know they both predominantly are kind of about curses. The first one is called A Curse So Dark and Lonely. A curse in this book, who would have thought it? The title says it. This is pretty much a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, kind of in a contemporary fantastical setting. So it's set half like in contemporary world and half like in fantasy world, if I'm not mistaken. So obviously you can tell a prince gets cursed into a beast. Beauty and Beast retelling. So there's your whole synopsis right there. I've heard amazing things about this book. I cannot wait to read it. It's very thick, as you can see, but either way, fall in love, break the curse, save the kingdom. Can you tell there's a curse in this book? And the last book I want to recommend to you is one I also haven't read as well, and that is Blanca and Roja by Anna Maria Mecklemore. This is about these 2 sisters named Blanca and Roja, and this family that will always, each generation, will birth these 2 daughters. And pretty much at the age of 16, the swans will come and take one of the daughters and kind of turn themselves into a swan. So there's like this curse upon this family of turning into a swan. So the 16th birthday is coming up for both Blanca and Roja, and they're kind of trying to figure out which one of them will the curse fall upon, which one of them the swans will take. So that is what this whole book is about. It's a retelling of the Swan Lake. I forget the actual name of it, forgive me on that. But either way, their family's cursed and one of them will turn into a swan. So that's not scary at all. So there you have it. Those are all the books that I wanted to recommend to you that deal with curses, or characters dealing with curses, or towns or families dealing with curses. A lot of them going around. So again, thank you so much to Disney Book Group for sponsoring this video. If you haven't already, go check out The Last Life of Prince Alastair by Alexander Bracken, which released on February 5th. It is in stores now, so you definitely don't want to miss this awesome haunting middle grade duology. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.